So here is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We'll just rip off this cellophane and get into the good stuff that's underneath, if I can manage this without making myself look like a fool. And we see this under the stunning artwork is the J card that lists the extensive extras on the back of this one. We've got the usual hard case box here, but in the extra goodies inside. We take it out, we have this box, which is always stunning. We've got this pile of extras in addition to this as well. First up, we have this wonderful design that's wrapping around all the discs. It just looks amazing. Inside we have the 3 discs. We've got the disc 1, disc 2 and disc 3. Once I fix out my OCD and get them all sorted, we've got the Blu-rays and the UHD. Nope, that's the right way, yep. Here we have the 190 page book, which is this wonderful wraparound design in the back of it. Inside the kitchen almost of the film, we have a wonderful array of contents here, which I'll just leave it on for a little second. You can have a look at. I'll just flick through the book and you can have an idea at some of the things that are inside, including the articles, the many essays and things that are here, as well as posters, pictures, artwork. Lots of exciting stuff to get dug into. We have 6 art cards that are included with this set. All fantastic images here, particularly these last 2 which I've kept to the end, which are just amazing. And there we have the amazing package of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. New from Second Sight Films comes this behemoth that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K limited edition set, and it becomes almost deja vu when talking about Second Sight releases, because they are fantastic. Taking a movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one that has had many releases that I've bought many times, and somehow creating the most definitive edition out there. This is a phenomenal movie. When people talk about some of the best horrors ever, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is always up there. It is a movie that has been often copied but never bettered. It is a classic for a reason. It's one of those strange movies that just affects you. I remember seeing it when I was really young, and it made a stamp on me, made that impression that I have never shook throughout my life. It is a phenomenal movie that is deeply disturbing, getting under the skin and just making you feel like your skin is crawling. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre shows us a group of kids as they stumble across a family of brutal killers. It's a story that you've probably seen many times before, and after 1974, when this was released, it's when you would have seen a hell of a lot more. What elevates this is the fact of how deeply it creates this atmosphere, of how it creates these sequences of terror, sustained abuse and terror that just repel, that are disturbing, not just scary, but genuinely disturbing. And I won't go into the intricacies of the plot, because I'm assuming we've all seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if you haven't, wow, what better way to discover it than on this impressive edition. Some of the things I really love about this is the way that we see some quick moments of violence at the start. They're never overly gratuitous. You get to see someone smashed in the head and pulled in. In fact, the most shocking thing about that is the door slamming shut. The kind of finality of that moment. There is a moment where you see someone hung on a hook, left to squirm. But other than that, you never really see too much in the form of blood or gore. but you don't have to. A lot of it is created through impressive filming techniques that makes you think as if you're seeing more than you actually are. This almost illusion-like film where I'm often surprised every time I sit down and watch it by how little there is of blood and guts, because my mind just runs away when I think about this movie and how twisted and upsetting and disturbing it is. One of the key sequences, something that always stuck with me and always resonated, was the horrible dinner sequence, where we have this family playing like the typical nuclear family, but they are so twisted and disturbed as we watch our heroine stuck there being mentally tortured by these people, about to be physically harmed, killed, if only the grandfather, the patriarchal figure, can manage to do the deed. It's horrific. The ringing of the hammer and the drum is just something that gets under my skin. The look and the feel of the characters are all disturbing. The family are all twisted and weird. They just don't look right. They just don't have those social skills that fit in. There's something just a little bit off about them that adds to the atmosphere of the movie. Even when they stumble across someone who hasn't previously been introduced as part of the family, you just get that kind of icky feeling of something's just horrible here.
They take the head and they boil it, except for the tongue. And they scrape all the flesh away from the bone.
This is an almost kind of backwards family doing horrible things and getting away with it. And you get that idea that it's been going on for the longest period of time. There are certain shots in here that have just become iconic, whether it be Leatherface dancing as the sun comes up with his chainsaw, whether it be that door slamming shut. There are so many moments that are just fantastic. The moment where one of the characters gets off a swing and walks towards the house. How perfect that shot is. How encapsulating of this daunting house looming over our characters that's going to decimate them at some point, where the inhabitants will anyway. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen it a lot throughout my time. I've seen it on crappy beat up VHS. I've now seen it all the way up to fantastic 4K, and it's never looked better. And the complementary extras that are on this disc just enhance this package. They enhance the movie. They give some revelations throughout the 3 over an hour long documentaries that are on this, and the wealth of other extras, and the massive book that comes with this at 190 pages. This is indeed a comprehensive and fantastic package to go with one of the most important films in my life in cinema. Let's dive in and have a little look at the extras. So for this example, I have got the Blu-ray disc up here for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now all the extras are the same on the 4K disc as they are on the 2 Blu-ray discs. We're going to dive into the extras here first of all. So this is disc 1 of the Blu-rays. We have the commentary with Amanda Reyes and Bill Ackerman, which is a new one for this release. We've got a commentary with Toby Hooper. We have a commentary with cinematographer, editor and the sound recordist. We have a commentary with Toby Hooper, cinematographer and Gunnar Hansen. And we have a commentary with the cast. For anybody, that's 5 commentaries on this disc, pretty much taking them all from most other releases and putting them all here in this set. Next up we have the Legacy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a newly produced look back at, as the title says, the legacy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, including lots of fans, critics, filmmakers. It is 1 hour, 22 minutes, 45 seconds, and it's so much fun. You get to see all different kinds of people in here. My favourite was Mick Garris and Fede Alvarez, just talking about their love of this film, but there is so much more. It's just a great companion piece to the film. And we have Behind the Mask, from Alexandra Heller Nicholas on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's 8 minutes 40. I found this fascinating. She's talking a lot about masks and horror in general, and also about the changing and evolution masks that Leatherface has within this film. Something that I'd never really put that much thought into before, but it's a real eye-opener, a great additional material. Next we have the Shocking Truth documentary. This is from 2000, directed by David Gregory. This is 1 hour 12 minutes, and again it's nice because we have two companion piece documentaries looking at the legacy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but 20 years apart, which is really kind of fun to compare. I think I kind of preferred the new one just because of the amount of familiar faces and great filmmakers they had, but they're both great documentaries. We also get the trailers, TV and radio spots, which is 5 minutes 58 seconds, and that's it for disc one. Let's dive into this too. So this is the second disc of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We have the Shocking Truth documentary outtakes, which is 7 minutes 41. You've got Cutting Chainsaw with the editor, which is 10 minutes 47 seconds. This is from the old Severin release, as is Grandpa's Tales with actor John Dugan, which is 15 minutes 48. He gets a little bit regretful and emotional at a certain point, which is kind of interesting to see, especially what they're talking about. It goes into the makeup, things like that as well, but it's the kind of emotional breakdown that I found quite fascinating at one point. We have Horror's Hallowed Grounds, which is a locations piece, 20 minutes 8 seconds. It's high energy, it's fun and engaging, and one of the better location pieces I've seen. We have Flesh Wounds, 7 Stories of the Saw, which is 1 hour 11 minutes 42 seconds from 2006. It's another documentary on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Some familiar faces as well as some new faces here, some interesting tales. Didn't really cover much of the same ground as other places, and a couple of things that I wasn't really too enamoured with, like the conventions and things like that, but otherwise it's a good documentary. Off the Hook with actor Terry McMinn. This is quite fun. It's 17 minutes 2 seconds in length. She's talking about her role in the film, particularly talks about that scene where the camera is under the swing bench as she gets off and walks towards the house. She mentions like being in the cinema with her nephew and a bunch of kids watching this, which just made me chuckle at the thought of that. Such a weird idea. Next up we have The Business of the Chainsaw with production manager Ron Bosman. This is 16 minutes 25 seconds. It's kind of interesting. I think the funniest thing that happens during this is them getting rained off their interview, where they have to quickly run away and reset up elsewhere. We get a house tour with actor Gunnar Hansen. We have a Toby Hooper interview, which is 30 minutes 46 seconds. We get Kim Henkel interview, which is 8 minutes 25. There is deleted scenes, which total 25 minutes and 23 seconds. And we have a stills gallery. And that kind of rounds out this incredibly well stoked set of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And with that as well comes a 190 page hardback book. This thing is a complete version of the film as you'll ever need, and a must own. So there we have it. A wonderful array of extras to go with a fantastic transfer of the movie. The 4K disc on this, for me, the film has never looked better. I love the second sight relief, the Blu-ray, the 4K disc separate, or the limited edition package. And normally I say, go with whatever you think you kind of want, but ultimately, I think this is something a little bit special. This is something that's going to sell out pretty quick, and I think most collectors are going to want this in their collection. You've got to pick it up. It's fantastic. It is truly impressive what Second Sight have done here. Just when you think they've got a kind of run on how to do a premiere edition of something, they go and create another definitive release. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hopefully, the last time I'll have to buy. Hopefully, the last time I'll ever have to get this movie, because it is simply the perfect edition. I'd love to know your thoughts on the movie, on this edition. If you're picking it up, or if you're picking up one of the standard releases, please let me know in the comment box below. We can have a conversation about this stunning release, and I want to pick your thoughts on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe even let me know what your favourite thing about the movie is in the comment box below. While you're down there, hit this video with a like because it really helps, and there is more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon, the membership programme, and ManVFilm.com, where you can help support me, and it's all greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.